A coin and a bag may change the way you see hotels. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to m&rtv and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. We all travel for different reasons. Sometimes it might be for work, while others travel for fun. You might think you need a lot of money to have a luxurious trip, but there are many hacks that will not only save you time, but money too. We all know the hassle of trying to make sure that your toiletries don't leak out of your bag. We try everything from putting them in cases to wrapping it up tightly. While these might all work, there is an even simpler method. All you need to do is take a small plastic bag and screw it under the cap. This not only seals it securely, but it also makes it easier to open again. Many hotels require you to keep your key card in the slot to make sure that your room's power remains on. This can be annoying to say the least. Luckily, you can use any card that is the same size as your key card, such as a Metro card, to keep your lights on. You might want to open a beer in your hotel room, but sometimes, while the beer is there is no bottle opener. Well, fortunately, you might not need to look far for a solution. Just pop it in the door closer and enjoy it. Believe it or not, the dirtiest thing in your hotel room is actually the remote control. Apart from the TV, there may also be a remote for the aircon, for example. The reason these are so dirty is that unlike the other things in the room, the remotes never get cleaned. All you need to do is to wrap it in a bag or a shower cap and you're good to go. Hotels can be very busy places, especially if you're staying there during the high season. The walls might be too thin or the passage outside your door might be heavily trafficked, so take an extra towel and place it over the crack of the door and see how much noise is being kept out. If you're traveling with a bunch of people or have a lot of luggage, it can get pretty annoying to travel back and forth. Luckily, if the door is near the closet, you can use a hanger to hook the door and keep it open while you try to settle in. Just make sure no one walks into your room in the process. It's no secret that the minibar in a hotel is terribly overpriced. What many people don't know, however, is that just picking up an item from the minibar can cause you to be charged. Many modern minibars actually have sensors that record the moment an item is removed. Even if you place it back, you might still get charged. You might be able to prove that you never used the item, but it's safest to simply not touch it. Many people struggle to sleep in an unfamiliar place. This can be made worse if the city lights are very bright. Often, however, you won't be able to close the curtains without leaving a gap. All you need to do is grab the pants hanger from the closet and use the clips to keep the curtain closed. We all know that it's a great idea to ask the concierge or hotel staff for recommendations, but don't only take their word for it. Often the hotel is linked to other businesses, and staff will try to direct you to those instead. The best thing to do is to do your own research first, and then ask the staff about those places that you're interested in. Erin Bender from Travel with Bender says that if you have to stay somewhere for more than a week, you can call the hotel in advance and ask for discounts. Apparently, it's much better to keep one guest for longer than to get a new one. While some people might hate humidity during their travels, another who has spent time in a hotel room probably knows how it feels to be dry. However, you can fix this easily by using a suitcase rack and putting a damp towel on top. Now just put the rack by the radiator so that you won't shrivel like a raisin in the sun. Unfortunately, bed bugs are one of the things that come along with constant travelings. These critters are even worse than mosquitoes, and they can catch a ride back to your house through your luggage. Therefore, it's best to keep them by the bathroom. Then check out the bed, the chairs, or the couch in the room. Do it even if you're at a 5-star hotel. Some people might panic while packing, but you don't need to worry if you forgot something. Many hotels have everything you could possibly need, and it's not just free soap or shampoo. Many establishments have hair straighteners, and some even have some video game consoles for children. Even if you don't know the general manager because you're trying out a hotel for the first time, it's always a good idea to call in advance. Professional traveler Mick Richard is the founder of Vagabondish.com. And he explained this works especially well with mom-and-pop hotels or smaller chains. You might be wondering what a secret hotel room is. Well, they are rooms sold at lower prices because the establishment doesn't want them to be empty. However, the catch is that you won't know which hotel you would like to stay in. These places offer discounts from 20% to 50%. You can check out lastminute.com's secret hotels and Hotwire's hidden offers. It might be nice to get room service every once in a while, but unfortunately it can be very expensive in the long run. It would be better to pack things like ramen for your room if you don't want to eat out. You would be able to boil water in the coffee maker easily. Also, carrying some portable appliances is helpful too. Kepnes signs for the bonuses at hotels, but he also recommends Universal Miles, especially Travel Rewards credit cards. That way, you can move your accumulated points to airline and hotel systems. You can transfer those points to hotel loyalty programs and redeem them for free rooms. Although not everyone uses a shower cap, you can actually use the one provided by the hotel for other things. If you forgot to bring bags, you can keep your dirty shoes inside them to avoid damaging your clothes. They can also be used to cover the remote control if you're afraid that it might be too dirty. One with the butter at a hotel is that it's just too cold and hard to spread it on your bread. Instead of waiting or eating your breakfast with cold butter, you can just put the packets on top of the toaster. After your bread pops, your butter will be perfect for use. We all need some butter on our toast in the morning. This might not be a great hack for saving money, but sometimes you have to slip someone a bit of money to get a better service. People that travel all the time recommend giving the front desk a $20 bill when you give them your driver's license, and you will probably be given an upgrade. Sometimes they might reject the tip, but no harm, no foul. Dia Bong, travel and contributor to Nomad Wallet, explained the benefits of price guarantees. Contact the hotel directly. You can start accumulating loyalty points. Some hotel chains like Marriott and Hilton will match the lowest price you can find and give you freebies or further discounts on top of it. Some people are traveling for a special occasion like a honeymoon, birthday, a bar mitzvah, or even a christening. Well, it's always better to let the hotel know in advance, as they will most likely offer you a deal for your event. You might even get an unexpected upgrade. All you need to do is be polite to the staff and they'll take care of you. Unfortunately, hotels won't give you a cup for your toothbrush, and placing it on the vanity does not seem hygienic. Even if they clean the place all the time, you can never know. Luckily, you can just grab a paper cup, put it in the middle, and put your toothbrush through the hole. Now it won't be touching any surfaces. People make mistakes, but sometimes some services are simply unsatisfactory. Your room may not have hot water, or the front desk might have forgotten your wake-up call. Some folks might hesitate to complain, but you have to do it. Just remember to be respectful even with your criticism, and the manager will most likely give you a discount to compensate. We have already discussed the horrors of bed bugs, but you should always be wary of the bedding in the room. While a hotel will wash and change sheets regularly, the same cannot be said for this one. Bedspreads that have no stains might not get washed ever, so we recommend just putting it in the corner of the room. If you're not the kind of person to tip the front desk for an upgrade, you can just ask to see several of the rooms available. Most hotels try to fill the worst rooms. There's no harm in asking to see something better, and you might discover one room with a much better view, instead of a window that overlooks the parking lot. Al Nawaz Rajan normally stays at great hotels for the price of 2-star places, and he recommends using platinum cards to get upgrades at hotels. These systems have expensive fees, but he says it's worth it. You might also try this hack at home, especially men that need to shave in the morning. Some people wait for the fog in the mirror to clear or wipe it with a towel, but all you really need to do to clear it is rub a bar of soap in the mirror. Then you use a dry cloth to buff the entire mirror. This will stop it from getting foggy ever again. If you think that the hotel you're staying at is not the best ever, or accidentally argued with the cleaning staff, you might be better off leaving the sign in place. That way, no one will enter your room and you won't have to worry about stolen items. When the sign is on the door, people assume you're in the room anyway too. One great tip is to book a room for the refundable price, and then you can browse around the area for better offers. It might seem like the more expensive option, but you can always cancel and get your money back in full. Furthermore, if you decide that the other hotels are not better, you can switch to a non-refundable amount at your original choice too. Some people boil their underwear in the kettle, and you really should avoid that. It's really unsanitary. However, you can actually use that method to boil an egg, and you will have the same delicious breakfast as anyone who went to the buffet. But you get to save around $20, which is always welcome. Some people have actually boiled pasta in the hotel room's kettle. Most hotels will have a sign for the emergency exit, but most people ignore it until the worst moment. Accidents can happen, especially in a building where there's all kinds of wires and there's a kitchen. A lot of folks have had to wake up in the middle of the night for fire. So it's best to be one step ahead. By the end of your travels, you might be tired of the hotel buffet and grow a dislike for all the restaurants in the area. However, you can always pop down to the local convenience store for some quick snacks that you can make in the room. As mentioned before, ramen is easy to make in the hotel coffee pot. You can even make a sandwich. We have already recommended using points to get a better status at the hotel. You might get a bunch of perks with that. Additionally, if you have great status at the hotel, you might be able to check in late. Some hotels could end up giving your room away after a certain time, but people with more points get to keep their reservations. Matt Kepnes travels all over the world since 2006, and he says that it's always better to apply for the hotel credit card and adding the sign-up bonuses. That way, you might even have a week's worth of free things. But most people about these benefits will save you money in the long run, especially if you travel all the time. Unfortunately, when you're trying to relax, you often forget about your things. This will happen often in your life. One thing that you can do to avoid missing valuable items like your keys, wallet, and your phone is to take them with you every single day. You can even loop your charging cord in the keychain and take that as well. Luckily, we live in the era of technology, and there are websites that constantly update their prices. Instead of checking them every day, just have the alerts turned on. That way you will get notifications on your phone or email. Try out Hotels.com and Kayak, as they won't overflow your inbox either. Unfortunately, hotels purposely put small cups next to the juice machines, and you often have to get up constantly to refill it. Luckily, there is a perfect solution for that. You just need to grab the large coffee cup and use it for your morning OJ. Some places have lids for coffee, so it's even more convenient. Families often travel together, but being in one room with all of them can get pretty cramped after a while. It's always best to ask for an extra bed cot, and you can always divide one bed into separate spaces. That way, they won't be in each other's space all the time, and it will definitely save you some fights. There are many hotels that offer irons at the front desk, as many rooms have ironing tables as well. However, you don't have to waste time ironing your clothes. A perfect hack is to put all your garments in the bathroom while you shower. The steam of the hot water will make sure that there are no more wrinkles in your clothes. There are different kinds of power outlets in the world, and if you forgot to bring an adapter, you might not be able to charge your phone. Luckily, you might be able to do it with your room's television. USB ports are pretty universal, and you can plug it into the port behind your TV. Most hotels have modern TVs these days. Unfortunately, you might be stuck in your room without water for a whole night, and that can be annoying. Bringing water with you is not always practical, but you can bring an empty water bottle everywhere. Don't fill it up with tap water though. If the hotel has a gym, it's best to fill your bottle at their water cooler. Professional travelers from all over the world have many different tips to give you. Chris Guillebeau is the founder of the Travel Hacking Cartel. He says that he doesn't use frequent flyer miles. AAA saves his day. If you have a designated status with a hotel chain or brand, you might be able to get it from other hotels. Elizabeth Hauk shares her advice online, and she says that you only have to call the loyalty line and request it. When you're starting out getting statues, Elizabeth recommends focusing on one brand, and this doesn't have to be expensive. Most hotel loyalty programs are based on nights, not dollars spent. If you need X number of nights for status in a particular room, Consider short one-night stays in a lesser property to achieve status for fewer bucks. There's really nothing worse than forgetting something in the hotel room, especially if you're traveling abroad. You'll never get it back. Therefore, it's best to avoid having to pack in a rush on the day of the flight. It's best to just leave everything organized, as you are probably always tired from your travels. Sometimes you have to travel with your kids and desperately need to do some laundry. However, hotel laundry is horribly expensive and there might not be a laundromat nearby. If it's just a few pieces of clothing, you can just use your sink. You only need some plastic and some coins to seal the drain and wash away. Jeanette Pavini from coupons.com says that many business hotels actually have better offers than popular commercial ones. This is even truer if you're visiting Europe, and it's because many of these establishments don't have a lot of business during the summer, when everyone's on vacation or even the weekends. Huck also explained that she always gets upgraded to a king suite at a certain establishment because she emailed the general manager. It was after a bad experience. I wrote the GM about the experience and he was happy to extend a fantastic rate for me to give the hotel another chance. Addis also recommends using the country's currency arbitrage to get discounts. She said, sometimes looking at booking engines specifically geared towards Australia, for example, can result in savings if booked in Australian dollars. If I'm using a travel credit card that doesn't charge fees for foreign transactions and has fair rates for currency conversion, it can be a great way to save some money on a room. Dia also recommends, if you don't like the idea of sticking with one hotel chain's loyalty program, use booking sites with lowest price guarantees instead. I personally like the loyalty program at hotels.com, which gives you one free night for every 10 nights you book through the website. This goes for the 100,000 eligible hotels on the website. As mentioned earlier, hotels make special accommodations for special events. Nicole Connolly always calls in advance. If you're visiting a hotel for a special occasion like a honeymoon or anniversary, let the property know when you make your bookings, as hotels might give you a complimentary upgrade to help you celebrate. Sabrina Levino has traveled the world since 2008, and if she doesn't get a deal in advance, she always negotiates it at the hotel. It helps to mention something like, "Are you also on TripAdvisor? I'd love to write a review." However, be careful not to fall into the choosing beggars stereotype. Avid travelers know that this is one of the best things you can buy. Many modern hotels have adapted their outlets for more options, but not all of them. Additionally, if you're going abroad, you might have problems. It's just better to have a traveling adapter at all times for everything you need. When you are in a foreign country, you might not understand the local channels, which would be bad if you want to catch up on your favorite shows in your free time. However, instead of spending money on demand movies, you can use your laptop. That way you can watch Netflix using the big screen. You just have to remember to always bring the HDMI cable with you. Nowadays, there are all kinds of travel sites and apps trying to sell the best deals out there, and they might work most of the time. However, most experts really recommend booking directly through the hotel because they might reveal some secrets that these sites won't, or there are some features that the hotel itself doesn't post online. Using a public network can be pretty unsafe. Unfortunately, only computer-savvy folks truly understand why. That's why the rest of us have to keep the firewall running and even an antivirus to avoid problems while using the hotel's Wi-Fi. It's better to be safe than sorry, as they say. Parents have been known to use any surface as an impromptu diaper changing station, but there are some places that work better than others. So instead of putting your kid on the floor or using the tiny bathroom counter, you can use the hotel room desk. The desk is also a better option than the bed because you don't have to worry about dirtying the sheets. Ronnie Speed and her son have been traveling for over a year but don't spend as much as you think. One important tip is to keep things simple when it comes to meals. Therefore, always ask for dishes for your room. As we have already mentioned, it's important to save up on meals because hotels usually overcharge for the simplest things. Room service is just too expensive. Therefore, to save around $12, you just need to buy some bread at the store and make some jelly. You can toast it up using the in-room iron. If you have already spent the money on the breakfast buffet, or even if it's complimentary at your chosen hotel, why not save a little at lunch? You can grab another bread roll, a bit of jelly, and even some yogurt. Just use your shower cap to wrap it up and take it to your room. If you have a mini fridge in your room, you're golden. We have already mentioned that you can cover the sink with coins to wash your clothes, but of course you can also use the bathtub if you have a big load. Just remember to carry some travel detergent, which is normally around $5 at the supermarket. You can later hang your clothes on the towel radiator. Depending on your age, you might remember Ross Geller from the television series Friends, as well as the episode where he and Chandler go to a hotel in Vermont. Ross takes every single amenity in his room and even asks for more. According to Jacob Tomsky, the author of Heads and Beds, hotels want you to do that. Hotels have plenty of items, all cute and travel size, waiting in storerooms, and all you have to do is pick up the phone and ask. Tomsky actually encourages people to grab more stuff. Consider the unmanned housekeeper's trolley a smash and grab situation. Pack your bags full of almond butter hand cream and guava face soap with espresso crisps. Take 3 of everything and get the hell out of the hallway. Even if you do get caught, just say you were out of shampoo, or even better, out of toilet paper, and thought you'd save them the trouble by grabbing it for yourself. When it comes to hotels and even airlines, it's much better to browse around using private or incognito mode. These sites use cookies, which might increase the cost of your travel if you have checked for flights or hotel rooms before. This is actually a trick to get people to buy and book quickly. If you are traveling abroad, it's better to avoid drinking from the tap in your hotel room. Even if you're going to a first world country, you have no idea if the conditions at the hotel are great or how your body will react to foreign pathogens. It might be expensive, but try to buy bottles of water at the store to keep in the room. Unfortunately, some travelers might be surprised to learn that the hotel is too close to a noisy area or even a train track. Some of these venues offer earplugs to their guests, but that's really not the solution. It's better to spend some extra time to look at the location than to spend the entire night awake because you can't sleep. You are traveling either to relax or for work. Either way, you need to rest. It might seem like a huge waste, but if your flight is particularly early, it's better to get a last-minute room at a hotel that's much closer to the airport. You will save more time for some extra sleep, and your morning trek will be easier. This is just a recommendation for the night before you flight because these hotels might not be that comfortable and the sound of airplanes can be disturbing. This might seem silly, but sometimes hotels could give someone else a key to your room by mistake. Furthermore, people from the front desk or the cleaning staff could enter your room at any moment. So if you don't want to be disturbed, you might consider locking the doors at all times. Also, remember to use the Do Not Disturb sign. Some people have to travel all the time and not just for vacation. This can really mess up someone's routine. However, you just need to find a certain routine. Even while changing locations all the time, a great idea is to go to the gym before dinner, especially if it's a work gathering. You will not have the energy after it to burn your calories. Unfortunately, some hotels have their rooms overbooked, thinking that guests might not show up for the reservation. However, sometimes it just happens. Therefore, these establishments will walk some clients to another hotel. Of course, arriving early is a great way to avoid that, but you should make a booking from the hotel's website directly and not through a third party. Being a loyalty member also helps, of course. While there are people who love to unpack immediately after getting a room, others prefer not to do that, especially if they're only staying for a couple of days. Therefore, it's a great idea to pack clothes for every day of your travels. You layer them by your outfits per day. A pair of pants, a shirt, socks, undies, and accessories. Pete Heck from HecticTravels.com and his wife have traveled all over the globe since 2009, and they find discounts thanks to bidding sites. We are recent converts to Priceline.com and Hotwire.com, 2 sites that have allowed us to save big money on hotel rooms. While we never know the exact hotel we'll be staying at before we book it, we only choose by location and star rating. Their prices are deeply discounted. We have never been disappointed. If you want to get out and enjoy a drink, it's best to avoid the hotel bar. You will save a bunch of money by going to a regular place in town. You might also meet some of the local folks instead of the tourists you always see in hotels. It's just a better experience overall, and you won't have to pay for an overpriced beer. Another interesting recommendation from traveling experts is that you should always try to get a corner room because it's bigger. Basically, you get little more space for the same deal. Furthermore, if you are asking for an upgrade, it's better to do it when there are no guests within hearing distance at the check-in desk. If you don't mind waiting until the very last moment, you might be able to use Groupon to get discounts for bookings. Kristen Addis is a blogger at Be My Travel Muse, and she explained, "You can get a room somewhere like Las Vegas the day of or the day before for much, much less, but of course you must be very flexible." People looking for an upgrade also have to consider checking in by the end of the day. Pavini says that by that time the hotel knows how occupied they might be, and if any upgrades are still up for grabs, they are more than willing to offer them. We always thought that it was the other way around. Another interesting recommendation from Pavini is that travelers should try to check out newer hotels. This might seem counterintuitive because newer places might be more expensive, but more often than not, these establishments have lower prices. The fact is that they probably haven't built enough loyal clientele yet. According to Travel and Leisure, you might actually be able to haggle the prices a bit. You might get a fair deal by using auction tools from some websites. We love Priceline's Name Your Price auction tool, which lets you propose a rate to properties you're considering. Equally worthwhile is Backbid. Use it to submit the details of an existing refundable reservation, and similar hotels will try to outdo one another on savings. Also check out Rumor. Another amazing way to save some money during your hotel stay is to try and look for bundle offers. People recommended buying your flight ticket and your hotel reservation in one go. Some sites have a lot of deals if you choose this method, and it can truly be a blessing if you find the right one. While some people have to go somewhere specific, adventurous travelers might be looking for their next destination without a plan in mind. If that's the case, you have to check out Hotels.com's Hotel Price Index, which also details where hotel prices are changing. These results come from their online bookings and how much each client paid for their stays. You might end up with a better plan after all. Even if your hotel room happens to have a kitchen, mini fridge, sometimes you just want a hot meal without having to cook or go outside. However, hotel room service is also rather expensive. But don't fret because you can just order delivery from your favorite place just like you do at home. If you're in a big city, it will be even easier to find your favorite spot. While websites are a great option, apps are also amazing for discovering discounts and better deals. There's one called Hotel Tonight, where they always have updates on last-minute offers, and loyalty members will receive access to secret prices during the peak booming times, such as the weekends. Explore all the possibilities. Cherry Rosner from Stayful says that you have to book on the opposites. This means that you have to do so when no one else likely will. Normally, hotels in business areas have amazing offers for weekends because most people won't use them. Meanwhile, resorts also have some awesome savings during weekdays. Oftentimes, in modern hotels, you will have to leave the key in a slot to keep the power on. But if you don't want to turn everything on and off every time when you leave, you can always ask for an extra key. That way, you can keep that one in the slot and leave the room without a problem, and your room will remain cool all day. Hotels need clientele to survive, so they love it when you make referrals. Some of them might actually offer rewards for them. Marriott has been known to give 50,000 extra points for referrals and 10,000 points for referred friends. Additionally, sites like Stayful also have a $25 discount when you refer your friends. It's very common to enter a hotel room that has some damp smell. It might not be a dirty smell exactly, but there is always something. Luckily, you can manage this easily with your car freshener. All you need to do is clip it on the air conditioning vent. Once you come back again, your room will be daisy fresh and you will sleep soundly. While traveling, you cannot pack everything you want, only the things you absolutely need. Going on a trip and not having music is unbearable, but bringing a speaker is simply too impractical. However, you can make your own makeshift speaker in the hotel room. All you need is your phone and one of the mugs in the room. Unfortunately, when you're trying to relax, you often forget about your things. This happens often in life. One thing you can do to avoid missing valuable items like your keys, wallet, and your phone is to take them with you every single day. You can even loop your charging cord in the keychain and take that as well. No matter how you booked your hotel, you should always take a look at what comes with the room and your stay. Some hotels actually have a resort fee and other charges for things like Wi-Fi, the use of the gym, and breakfast. In some cities, parking at the hotel can be incredibly expensive. It's better to know before you're handed a massive bill. Unfortunately, traveling with family can get expensive and especially tiring. So if you're planning to eat in your room and don't want to make a mess, you can always use the ironing board. Just place it in front of your bed with a towel to avoid dirtying it. Now you have a table for your children. Generally speaking, the glassware in the room is cleaned for every new client. However, some hotels don't even have a restaurant. So how are they cleaning them? Using their hands or some soap at the sink? It's better to give them a thorough washing yourself when you get to the room. At least smell them and check for dirtiness. While a lot of hotels have air conditioning, especially if they're new, you might discover that there are plenty in Europe, for example, that don't have it. If you find yourself in a room without one and it's just too hot, all you need to do is wet a towel and put it on the open window. That way the breeze will blow in the cooler air. While hostels have a horrible reputation, they are not as bad as everyone thinks. People who travel often have a lot of great things to say about them. Hostels will always be better. Hotels will always be better, but hostels are extremely cheap. If you're friendly, you might end up meeting some of the most interesting people too. Some people are reluctant to use the products provided by the hotel, but they are really great. Meanwhile, conditioner can actually be used in other ways, beyond leaving your hair silky smooth. It also works as a shaving cream, a makeup remover, and even for cuticle care. It can also be used to wash your delicates, leather, and shoes. Since the invention of cell phones, people have had to worry about carrying a charger in their bags all the time. This is especially true in today's world as we use our smartphones for absolutely everything. If you accidentally left your charger at home, there is a chance someone actually forgot their own at the hotel. You just need to call the front desk and ask if they have one for your phone. There are many hotels that don't have nightstands for some weird reasons, but you don't have to leave your stuff on the floor in this situation. You can just make a little pocket with the sheets from your bed. This might not work at home because most people use fitted sheets. This hack only works in hotels. Sadly, not every hotel room comes with other facilities besides the bed. Sometimes you just need a mini fridge to keep your things cold. However, even if there's no fridge, you don't have to throw away your stuff. You can make a cooler at the bathroom sink with some ice, which will help keep your drinks cool so you can relax while watching a movie.